I've waited a long time for this moment, chat. A very long time. But it's time to be bullish. Yeah. Dubs in the chat. Dubs in the chat. Dubs in the chat. It's time to be bullish. You're thinking, Jam, bullish. Trump tariffs, recession, World Johnson 3. What do you mean it's time to be bullish? It's time. It's time. All right, so right straight to business, chat. Yes, you heard it right. I am short-term bullish, and I think there's some plays here that could print some money. But like I've been saying for the last 3 years now, chat, the last 3 years, this is a trader's market, man. You know, hodlers going to be getting wrecked. If you're just trying to hodl forever, man, it's not going to work out, man. It's not. I've been trying to say that for the last 3 years. So anyways, let's get right into it. Why are we short-term bullish? Well, Bitcoin has bounced. Obviously, went all the way down to 74. We're sitting at 87,000 right now. We're sitting at 87,000, right? Now, nothing has changed from the market since I was bearish in December, okay? Nothing has fundamentally changed. So people are going to ask, why would we go up? Because it's a market, because that's what market makers do. Nothing goes straight down except for the coin that you just bought, right? Nothing goes straight down. So why am I short-term bullish here, okay? Let's take a look at Bitcoin, all right? Sunday pump, little sus. This Johnson could definitely correct this week. Really, I'm looking more into May, okay? I'm really looking more into May, April 20th, time of making this video, okay? But you know what we say, if you're not early, you're late, right? If you're not early, you're late. So you found the video, so you're early, W to you. If you always want to be early, obviously subscribe. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So Bitcoin breaking out here, I think we'll have maybe a little correction here. Then really the main target for Bitcoin is very, very simple. Very, very simple. It's this level right here, right? That's the main target. It's 95K. Not that difficult. Not that hard to see that. Whether we correct first back down to the low 80s, yeah, that's fine. Who cares, right? That's kind of the target that I'm looking at. Now, why is that? Why am I favoring more move to the upside? Well, let's look at the stock market, okay? Well, let's look at the stock market. Let's look at the NASDAQ, okay? Super overextended. We went super down to the downside. We had a nice big rally up there, right? A nice rally up. Now we've kind of rejected again. So again, just like Bitcoin, I expect some choppiness. Could even revisit the lows. Right? But my point is, very, very often, right? We can just pull up some basic RSI here, right? Let's go on the weekly. He's super down there on the weekly, okay? So I would really expect us to eventually push up above these weekly ribbons. And that's going to take a few weeks, a month, right? So during that time, you know, if this week is more of a chill out week, we go down and revisit, then eventually we push up into May or whatever, you know, that's going to give crypto the steam, right? Because you're never going to see Bitcoin ripping if this just continues to nuke. However, I think it's nuked quite a bit. I don't know how much we're down. From the top to bottom. It was probably a lot, right? 26%, right? So, you know, definitely you can have a nice relief rally, and just like Bitcoin, you know, what 20,500 on the NASDAQ would be the big level. But anyways, nobody cares about that. You guys don't care about the NASDAQ. I know what you guys care about. You want to make the big juicy gains. So what are we looking at here? Well, first of all, something I have to point out is Ethereum. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly. You guys see that, right? You guys see where these weekly ribbons are, right? You can see that? Let's look at Ethereum. Big difference I'm about to show you. Boom. Look at that gap to fill. That is a juicy gap to fill on Ethereum. Now, I know you guys are like, dude, I don't care about Ethereum. What is Ethereum going to do? Go to 3K? Not even. But anyways, that's not the point. For Ethereum to rip all the way back to its weekly ribbons here, you're going to go in 23 to 2,500, right? 23 to 26 even, 23 to 26. It's a big move, right? That's literally 50% up on Ethereum. What does that mean? That means bullish for altcoins, right? Bullish for altcoins. However, do I think your alts are going to make new all-time highs? Look, do I think Ethereum's going to make a new all-time high in this wave up? Personally, man, no, I don't think so. You're going to have a lot of confluence coming in on these weeklies and this level here, right? You guys see that? It's not perfect, but you guys get the point, right? Big level, you lost it. Could you rally all the way back up to it? Maybe. That'd be crazy bullish. But what looks good? What charts do look nice? The same charts that have looked nice for the last year or more, right? Memes, chat. Memes. Now, are we going to get a 30x from Pepe? Probably wishful thinking, chat. Probably wishful thinking. However, I think memes more than anything look really good. Now, in the short term, for sure, little correction. Again, I think this week could be a little bit of a corrective flush out week, right? This is April 20th, time of making this video. But come May, dude, come May, these memes look nice, man. These memes look nice, okay? Ooh, just about lost that. These memes look nice, okay? So the reason I'm saying memes is like you could legitimately get 3, 5, 10 X's, whatever, on a lot of these memes, right? Now, obviously, they're memes. They're more risky, but I mean, are they more risky? Are they more risky? I mean, if you're going to get rugged, you're going to get rugged, right? So that's the game that we play, but I think the risk reward here is pretty decent, right? It's pretty decent. I mean, like I said, fundamentally, nothing about this market has changed. So why are we looking at memes? Because like I talked about last video, right? We're not in a real, bull market in the sense that we're in quantitative easing, low interest rates, economy is good, right? That's what Bitcoin is used to. We're not in that. I covered that last video. So what has proven to be able to move and to get you the X's that you want in QT, right? In QT, memes, right? Because you don't need as much liquidity to move the memes, right? As you do to move Ethereum. Is Ethereum going to give you a 5x? No, it's not even going to give you a 2x, right? But memes can do that. So which memes am I looking at? Well, CoinMarketCap, you got your safe plays, right? You got Doge. I like Doge. I personally, out of these top 3 big boys, personally, I like Pepe. I think Pepe looks pretty solid for a potential 3 to 5, maybe even a 10x if it really went crazy, dude. Bonk is another one that I would say I like. Okay. Moving on down here with, look, all of these they all have like similar patterns, right? They all have similar patterns and, on a weekly, they look nice. You got a nice green dot there on the weekly for Pepe. But a lot of these, right, you can pull up whiff, similar, right? Similar. What else you got here? Brett is another one. I think looks decent. Green dot again, right? So again, you might have a little bit of a correction here, but you see a bullish engulfing candle like that. I know it's not technically engulfing, but you guys get the point, candle structure. These are solid signs. So even if you have some fluctuation here, I think these things are just set up for a bounce, man. So that's the play, man. I mean, personally, right? But, that's just my opinion. Of course, not just only memes are going to rip. I'm just saying these are the things that I think could move the most if you're not using leverage, obviously, right? If you're using leverage, that's a different story. Ethereum is probably going to be a generational trade. I'll be looking to long Ethereum when I think the time is right. So if you guys want access to those trades, you can check out the group. But yeah, man, Brett is another one, looks good. What else? I'm not in the trenches like you guys, man. I mean, I'm not a meme master, I mean, Mogcoin, that's funny. GigaChat is another one. Yeah, I like this one, to be honest. Let's check out the chart. I think this one actually looks good. So, I mean, there's like five right there that I think look nice. Yeah, I mean, this obviously got cooked, but right now looks decent, right? Looks decent. So that's the thing, man. Like if these just rally back up, you're getting 3 to 5 X's, right? You're getting 3 to 5 X's. So Pepe would be the big one for me. Probably I would say Pepe, Brett, Giga. Whiff looks decent. All of them, just look at the chart. You know what it looks like, chat? You know what it looks like? I'll show you exactly what these look like. Okay. You see how, right? You see how these look like this? You see this chart pattern where you lost the structure and then you have a little bit of a bottom forming. Very similar to me. I mean, this is just observation. You guys see that? Looks very similar to H-bar in the sense that you lost the structure, you know, bottom a little bit, right? So potentially you could even have one more leg down, right? That's what I'm saying. You could have a leg down, but then sometime in May, right? A big Johnson there, right? No Diddy? Big Johnson. So that's what it looks like to me. And I think if we have that leg down, chat, a lot of people are going to get shaken out. They're going to be like, yeah, it's over. It's so over. We're going to zero. It's done. Then we'll shoot up. They'll FOMO. Cycle repeats. Rugged. That's how she goes, right? So that's pretty much all I got for you, chat. Huge W. I know I've been meaning to do more of these videos. Actually, let's just cover the bigger time frames while I'm here, because who knows when I make another one of these, right? So I might as well. Now, why am I only, because I know the question is going to be, okay, well, if we're going to go up, does that mean we're going to rip to new highs? Was that just a correction and the bull market continues? Look, no. So basically, chat, like what a lot of people are figuring out now, which we've known on the channel for a while, is the similarities in structure between last cycle and this cycle, but we're a year ahead, more or less, right? So if you want to figure that out, well, where are we then, right? If you're comparing last cycle to this cycle, where are we? Right here in the middle? No, chat. We are here. We are here. We're basically in like the January, February of 2022. You see that, chat? And it might not look that obvious here, but maybe on a chart, like, I don't know, total 3 maybe. Yeah, total 3 might be a little more clear. See here, right? That's basically where we're at. So, you know, February green, March green, right? So maybe get April, more or less green or flat. And then May, you have the majority of the green, right? And then after that, there's a good chance we get cooked. And there's so many things that can show you this. There's so many things we can pull up. There's so many similarities, chat. Like I'll cover them as quickly as I can here, but it's like, you know, look at the MACD on the monthly. It's the exact same, chat. It's the exact same, right? And it's not just Bitcoin. Look at the stock market, chat. We had the death cross, boom, red candle. What is that? Look at it. February 22, May, right? Sorry, April. We're not in fucking May yet. You guys get what I'm saying, chat? It's the exact same. And if you go on the 3 month, that's, you know, it's even worse. So that's what I'm telling you guys. It's a trader's market. It is a trader's market. You know, you trade it, you don't marry it. But short-term bullish, chat. So that's all I got. I could go into more detail, but we do that on the live streams anyways. So big W. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.